Do you have your greens, beans, tomatoes, and pies for tomorrow's meal? I'm out here at Webb City Farmers Market where they're offering customers a chance to get their Thanksgiving meal locally sourced. I'm Ty Parks, and we'll have that story coming up.
Plus, local libraries bring free technology programs to families, and
2 National Guard members from West Virginia shot on the streets of D.C. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Dow Quick. Just ahead of the holiday, the Webb City Farmers Market opened their doors to provide some local flavor. As KOAM's Ty Park shows us, it's that taste of the area that really makes the market special.
Webb City's Farmer Market is offering a Thanksgiving market for people to come by and pick up the last-minute items.
You know, each year we have a bonus market just for people to get last-minute produce, fresh food for their family dinners.
Vendors grow and produce food here in the local area, and people like the locally sourced veggies and meats.
I much prefer the local to the big box store. In a local market, you get locally raised meats and produce that are from the local area, produced by local farmers with care, concern, and they look out for you.
One customer prefers their desserts from a local baker.
Only desserts like apple pie, like pecan pie, the classical traditional dessert for Thanksgiving. And for me is the blueberry cheesecake. That's delicious. For me, this is like homemade, and the more important, we help local people. This is more important for me. And the people make everything great.
This food was just picked a few hours ago, and so it's very nutritionally dense, and it's supporting your local people. The money goes directly to the farmers who produce the food.
In Webb City, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
the Webb City Farmers Market will start their Christmas market the first weekend in December. New tech, including 3D printers, laser engraving machines, and drones, will be coming to area libraries thanks to a grant received by the Southeast Kansas Library System. Organizers say this grant presents an opportunity for patrons to learn about new tech and try things hands-on.
You know, take advantage of the resources. They're here, people need them, or even if they don't need them, you have them. They're free.
With a changing world of technology and the price increases associated with that, the grant will serve communities by providing new tools and resources. Pittsburgh police officers took some time out of their day to hang out and read to kids. The police department and family response advocates teamed up to celebrate Kansas Reads to Preschoolers. It's an annual event since 2005 that promotes reading to all Kansas children from birth through age 5 in the month of November. This year's featured book is Little Nita's Big Idea.
I believe that bringing officers to any child or any community event actually helps build the trust, because they see an officer not just as a person with a gun or a badge. It's actually a human meeting another human and creating connection.
The kiddos were given a book to take home thanks to the Family Resource Center. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather. Having some technical problems, obviously. We'll get to that in a bit. But coming up, the White House says the Middle East peace process stays on track.
Hamas has now returned the remains of all but 2 hostages held in Gaza as the ceasefire continues to hold. I'm Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. I've got the details coming up.
But up first, high-potency marijuana products spark addiction concerns among health experts. Recreational marijuana use continues to rise as the legalization and commercialization of pot makes it easier to access in many states. Medical experts say this, along with stronger potency, is leading some down the path of addiction. It's known as cannabis use disorder, and some weed smokers say those warnings might be right. Fox's Kevin Oretsky explains.
It's a common belief among pot users: you can't get hooked. Now, experts and some cannabis users are saying that may not be true.
I think the attitude around it being not as bad or so normalized definitely kept me in my addiction for a much longer time.
Increased availability combined with stronger THC concentrations have addiction experts sounding the alarm. Many warning daily high-potency marijuana use can cloud memory, disturb sleep, and intensify anxiety or depression.
You aren't just smoking a joint anymore. Like, you're able to access THC in ways that people have not used it. Typically, you can get THC gummies and candy bars and snacks.
According to the CDC, about 3 in 10 pot smokers have cannabis use disorder. That's when people crave marijuana and use it, even though it's disrupting their daily life, health, and relationships.
I would wake up in the morning and I would feel sick until I smoked weed.
It's a problem more users are admitting to, even though many may not reach out for help over the widespread belief that pot isn't addictive.
I was waking up and doing it. I was driving to the dispensary and doing it in the car before I went in there. I was doing it during the breaks. I did not understand, again, the harmful effects that were occurring.
Medical officials say help is out there. One-on-one counseling, group therapy, and even programs like Marijuana Anonymous are available for those ready to make a change. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Pregnant women with thyroid hormone imbalances might be at increased risk of having children with autism. A study in Israel found a link between autism and women who had ongoing thyroid hormone imbalances over multiple trimesters. However, there was no increased risk of autism among women whose thyroid dysfunction was adequately treated. An ultrasound in the first trimester can lead to earlier detection of fetal anomalies. Research from the University of Oxford found while second trimester ultrasounds are often used to detect serious problems in a fetus, it's now possible to screen for those anomalies even earlier. The study found first trimester ultrasounds can detect 40% of anomalies, including skull, heart, or limb abnormalities. Drinking coffee daily could slow the biological aging of people with severe mental illness. A study in Norway found drinking as many as 3 or 4 cups of coffee daily had a beneficial effect for people with psychosis, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorder. While the cause of the anti-aging effect isn't clear, the study's authors say it could be the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds found in coffee. Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in years as 73 million drive to destinations.
The arts.
It's been a pretty cold day if you had to go outside today. We started out very, very chilly this morning. Now taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, it is dropping down again into the low 30s, just like we saw this morning, with our overnight low hitting about 31. For most of us, we'll be below freezing. Further south, mostly along I-44 and south, will be right about freezing and slightly above. Now clouds are going to stick around through most of the night and into Thanksgiving. Now temperatures are going to be in the upper 40s on Thursday, low 50s on Friday, but back into the upper 40s for the weekend with overnight lows dipping down into the 20s again by Saturday. Now taking a look at our Skywatch storm tracker, we've got clouds covering the area, so it's not very festive as we head into Thanksgiving, but clouds do clear through the morning hours. Now through morning, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, some waves of more clouds in the air, but most of the part, it's going to be pretty nice. Upper 30s by 9 a.m., 41, 10 a.m., 44, 11 a.m., with our high for the day reaching again about 47, 48, maybe 49 if we're lucky. And then again, we're just having some more clouds increasing late Thanksgiving and into Friday. Now our Black Friday forecast, if you plan on doing any holiday shopping, we're going to start out pretty cold. Again, in the upper 20s, looking about 29, 30 degrees. So very cold, below freezing, of course. Definitely want to load up on, scarves, sweaters, and hats, jackets. But we do warm up by noon. Already in the upper 40s We do have overcast skies, so it might feel a bit cooler. 4 p.m. we're going to be in the low 50s, hitting about 50 to 51 degrees. And then we also have the chance to see some possible showers late Friday night. So here we are, future track, 5:30 in the morning. We're in the upper 20s, 28 in Joplin, 29 in Pittsburgh, 27 in Fort Scott, but along I-44 south out in Oklahoma, about 30, 31. And then we have some easterly winds, and then those clouds really roll in. So overcast skies for most of the day, the high reaching the low 50s pretty much across the board. Yates Center, Nevada, looks like Stockton in the upper 40s still, but it's going to feel a bit chillier because we do have those winds, few winds of 5-10 miles per hour, but overcast skies, just not going to feel too warm. And then we start to see just some sprinkles popping up before midnight, but after midnight we're going to see more scattered showers already on the Missouri side, as you can see, as those temperatures drop down into the low 40s by midnight on Saturday. Now we're going to continue to drop down only a couple more degrees, upper 30s, low 40s. Won't be below freezing Friday night into Saturday, but we will just have widespread light scattered showers. Fort Scott looks like it's getting a little bit more there on Saturday, 7 a.m., Bentonville, Cassville, and then those will continue through most of the day on Friday, light scattered showers. Now, still pretty cloudy on Sunday. We're going to be in the 30s. Then you can see on Monday we have the chance to see a little bit of a wintry mix. Now mostly just rainfall, especially during the day, but those overnight lows Monday night, even if we don't get any snow, we could definitely see some temperatures or some puddles refreezing Monday night into Tuesday. So you're going to want to watch out for that as we head into next week.
Time to get out those coats. Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up next, shoppers use AI to find better deals and research products this holiday season.
Will AI make you a smarter shopper? Retailers hope so. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
Opportunities.
The use of AI is reshaping the shopping experience this year as millions of consumers take advantage of the new technology and business owners scramble to keep up. Fox's Eben Brown has more on this edition of our Fox on Tech series.
We're seeing higher engagement, higher conversion rates, and higher add to cart values.
Retailers are bracing for the most digitally dynamic holiday shopping season so far, with artificial intelligence shaping both retailer strategy and customer behavior. Content Square, which analyzes customer experiences, says the new technology is empowering shoppers to start earlier, do their research, and prioritize value over branding.
We really analyze products. We might even look for product vouchers and discount codes. We might be setting up pricing alerts. It's getting a lot more sophisticated.
It is also prompting big changes from retailers, both big and small. They're using generative AI to boost engagement and target specific demographics with features like personalized gift finders and chatbots to help you shop.
You can get AI to generate images. You can get images turned into videos. You can then personalize the content for all the different variances of audiences.
But it's still not clear if the tech boom will help startups and small businesses attract a new customer base, or if the gains will be mostly felt by bigger retailers that can afford to invest more in the latest AI tools.
We're now relearning what we need to do in order for our sites to get crawled properly by an AI. And so whether that benefits the larger companies or the smaller ones, I think time will tell.
The AI shopping market was worth more than $10 billion last year. That number is quickly rising. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The September retail sales report, delayed due to the government shutdown, showed a 0.2% increase in September over August. That's according to the Commerce Department. It's slightly below expectations. The new data comes as the latest consumer confidence reading from the Conference Board dropped to 88.7% in November, the lowest reading since April. The survey found that Americans are increasingly concerned over rising costs, the job market, tariffs, and politics due to the recent government shutdown. After 60 years of cutting hair and listening to customer stories, Ms. Nell Elliott prepares to close her salon in North Little Rock. The 80-year-old stylist has built more than a business. She's created a community gathering place where secrets are shared and friendships are formed.
You know, you keep some of them for memories, you know, it's just sad and happy too.
The North Little Rock mayor presented Elliott with a proclamation recognizing her decades of service to the community. The salon officially closes this week, ending an era for the neighborhood institution. Apple might need some assistance from Santa's helpers. According to Counterpoint Research, the tech giant's going to ship around 243 million iPhone units this year versus 235 million shipments from Samsung. It's going to be the first time in 14 years Apple will have shipped more smartphones than Samsung. Apple's success is being driven by its iPhone 17 series, which launched in September. And AMC Theaters is offering its rewards members a new popcorn pass. For $29.99 a year, moviegoers can get half off the price of one large popcorn per day at U.S. locations. The AMC Popcorn Pass is available starting December 1st. That's Cyber Monday. Coming up next, record 81 million Americans travel for Thanksgiving as families reunite nationwide. The holiday travel season's in full swing as Americans make their ways to families and friends across the country for Thanksgiving. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri gives us a look at the travel forecast from the world's busiest airports.
I'm thankful for my family.
Spending time with my family and my mom. It's good to be around family for Thanksgiving.
From planes to trains to cars, AAA predicts 81 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles this week, making it what could be the busiest Thanksgiving travel season in years. For many travelers, it's all about the family time.
Visiting family we haven't seen for a long time and having a turkey and doing all the fixings.
Just relaxing, man. It's been a long year. Just excited to hang out with my family.
Airports are bracing for the influx of travelers. Thankfully, staffing levels have returned to normal for the TSA following the end of the government shutdown 2 weeks ago. Travelers relieved it was resolved before the holiday season.
I was pretty confident that this country would definitely make sure, people power would make sure that everyone was going home for Thanksgiving.
I'm just really glad for the workers that they're going to be getting paid again. I'm really glad that things are back on track.
But most travelers will be hitting the road. 73 million, an all-time high.
We're just making a day of it. We went and had breakfast, we stopped and had lunch. We're getting ourselves just enjoying it because you're not going to beat the traffic, so you might as well have fun while you're doing it.
Meanwhile, forecasters are keeping a close eye on the upper Midwest, where blizzard warnings have been issued. The storms could make it a snowy Thanksgiving for some, while causing a ripple effect for travelers across the country. Snow is expected in the upper Midwest today, lasting through Friday. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
As you light up those holiday candles this year, the Red Cross hopes you keep some safety tips in mind. They remind us to blow out the candles when we go to bed. Also, avoid burning candles all the way down. That can be dangerous. Never use a candle if supplemental oxygen is in the room. And be sure to have a working smoke detector in your home. To learn more candle safety tips, check out the article on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. 2 National Guardsmen shot near the White House as a suspect is taken into custody. And 6 weeks into a fragile ceasefire, Hamas returns more hostage remains to Israel.
Big Bang.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is Fox News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Dow Quick. President Trump requested more National Guard troops be sent to the D.C. area after 2 members were shot in a targeted shooting. Fox News correspondent Carolyn Shively has that story.
Law enforcement swarming this park just 2 blocks from the White House with at least 1 helicopter landing at the scene after 2 National Guard members were shot. A massive police response in the nation's capital after 2 members of the National Guard were critically injured. The victims were from West Virginia.
These National Guardsmen are heroes, and we must pray for their safety and their speedy recovery.
The shooting happened in the Farragut Square area, roughly 2 blocks from the White House. D.C. Metro Police say the area is now secure with 1 suspect in custody.
This is a targeted shooting. 1 individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Shortly after the incident, President Trump, who is in Florida, took to social media calling the suspect an animal who will, quote, pay a very steep price. Vice President J.D. Vance, visiting with troops at Fort Campbell, also weighed in.
It's a somber reminder that soldiers, whether they're active duty, reserve, or National Guard, our soldiers are the sword and the shield of the United States of America.
The shooting came a week after a federal judge ordered an end to the National Guard deployment in the D.C. area. There are about 2,200 troops deployed in the city. Their presence has been contentious, fueling debate over President Trump's use of military force to address crime in major cities. That order to withdraw troops is currently on hold to allow the Trump administration time to appeal. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A Georgia judge dismisses the historic racketeering case against President Trump over his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McCaffrey rules to dismiss the case in its entirety, closing the final unresolved criminal case against Trump since he won back the White House. The charges were originally filed in August of 2023 by Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, who was later removed from the case after a legal battle over her authority. State Prosecutor Peter Skandalakis, who took over the case last month, moved to drop all charges against Trump and his co-defendants to serve the interest of justice and promote judicial finality. The body of another Israeli hostage was returned today as Hamas inches closer to completing a key term of the first phase of the peace process. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
Another set of hostage remains returned to Israel overnight. Dror Or was killed during the October 7th attacks when Hamas militants overran his kibbutz. Now he's been brought home, and funeral services are being organized. 6 weeks into the fragile ceasefire, Hamas has returned the remains of all but one Israeli and one Thai hostage. The White House says it's a sign the peace process is on the right track.
There were a lot of doubters, and we got the hostages out, and this president secured a peace deal that still exists and is ongoing today.
But it won't be easy to pivot to phase 2. Planning for Gaza's reconstruction has been stalled by ongoing security concerns. And now the UN says it could be even more expensive than previously thought.
It will take many years for Gaza to be able to be reconstructed. Even if we pumped billions every year, it doesn't mean that Gaza will recover.
Meanwhile, Israel is inching closer to resuming a multi-front war. The IDF launched a major counterterrorism operation in the West Bank. And further north, airstrikes against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon are becoming more frequent.
Under my leadership, the state of Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its power, and we will not allow it to once again pose a threat to the state of Israel.
And civilians there say they're tired of being caught in the crossfire.
I can tell you that in Lebanon, I think we're living by a miracle.
Pope Leo is visiting Lebanon as part of his first trip overseas as pontiff. He arrives on Sunday. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Visiting America's most popular national parks becomes more expensive, a lot more for international tourists starting January 1st. The Department of Interior announces non-residents without an annual pass will pay a $100 per person fee on top of regular entrance fees at 11 of the most visited parks. The agency calls it America First pricing to ensure foreign tourists pay their fair share for park maintenance and improvements. Annual passes also increase for international visitors to $250 compared to $8 for U.S. residents. Only American residents will get free access on patriotic free fee days under the new policy. Vice President J.D. Vance is at Fort Campbell today visiting troops ahead of the big Turkey Day celebration. Joining him was Second Lady Usha Vance and their 3 children as they all serve Thanksgiving food to military service members. Vance, a Marine veteran, was seen handing out mashed potatoes and chatting with the soldiers. Fort Campbell is home to more than 30,000 active military members and is on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. This is Vance's second time visiting Tennessee in the past few weeks. Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later Carthage kicks off the holiday season with Sparkle in the Park lighting ceremony.
It's time to pop before you shop right here at Pittsburgh Interiors. This Black Friday, we're having our biggest sale of the year. Before you buy, pop.
It's been a pretty cold day if you had to go outside today. We started out very, very chilly this morning. Now taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. It is dropping down again into the low 30s, just like we saw this morning, with our overnight low hitting about 31. For most of us, will be below freezing. Further south, mostly along I-44 and south, will be right about freezing and slightly above. Now clouds are going to stick around through most of the night and into Thanksgiving. Now temperatures are going to be in the upper 40s on Thursday, low 50s on Friday, but back into the upper 40s for the weekend, with overnight lows dipping down into the 20s again by Saturday. Now taking a look at our Skywatch storm tracker, we've got clouds covering the area, so it's not very festive as we head into Thanksgiving, but clouds do clear through the morning hours. Now through morning, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, some waves of more clouds in the air, but most of the part, it's going to be pretty nice. Upper 30s by 9 a.m., 41, 10 a.m., 44, 11 a.m., with our high for the day reaching again about 47, 48, maybe 49 if we're lucky. And then again, we're just having some more clouds increasing late Thanksgiving and into Friday. Now our Black Friday forecast, if you plan on doing any holiday shopping, we're going to start out pretty cold, again in the upper 20s, looking about 29, 30 degrees, so very cold, below freezing, of course. Definitely want to load up on, scarves, sweaters, and hats, jackets, but we do warm up. By noon, already in the upper 40s. We do have overcast skies, so it might feel a bit cooler. 4 p.m. we're going to be in the low 50s, hitting about 50 to 51 degrees. And then we also have the chance to see some possible showers late Friday night. So here we are, future track, 5:30 in the morning. We're in the upper 20s, 28 in Joplin, 29 in Pittsburgh, 27 in Fort Scott, but along I-44 south out in Oklahoma, about 30, 31. And then we have some easterly winds, and then those clouds really roll in. So overcast skies for most of the day, the high reaching the low 50s pretty much across the board. Yates Center, Nevada, looks like Stockton in the upper 40s still, but it's going to feel a bit chillier because we do have those winds, few winds of 5-10 miles per hour, but overcast skies, just not going to feel too warm. And then we start to see just some sprinkles popping up before midnight, but after midnight we're going to see more scattered showers already on the Missouri side, as you can see, as those temperatures drop down into the low 40s by midnight on Saturday. Now we're going to continue to drop down only a couple more degrees, upper 30s, low 40s. Won't be below freezing Friday night into Saturday, but we will just have widespread light scattered showers. Fort Scott looks like it's getting a little bit more there on Saturday, 7 a.m., Bentonville, Cassville, and then those will continue through most of the day on Friday, light scattered showers. Now, still pretty cloudy on Sunday. We're going to be in the 30s. Then you can see on Monday we have the chance to see a little bit of a wintry mix. Now mostly just rainfall, especially during the day, but those overnight lows Monday night, even if we don't get any snow, we could definitely see some temperatures or some puddles refreezing Monday night into Tuesday. So you're going to want to watch out for that as we head into next week.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Still ahead, the Chiefs take the field tomorrow for a Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. We're going to have this week's Minute with Mitch next. And the Pitt State Gorillas continue their quest for a national championship this weekend. We're going to preview their matchup against Harding coming up.
Join us for the Red Kettle Challenge in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
The Pitt State Gorillas are coming off a thrilling come-from-behind win over Chadron State to open the playoffs last week. And on Saturday, the Gorillas take on Harding in a playoff rematch from a year ago. The Bisons pose a challenge unlike any other team that Pitt State has faced. With a wishbone formation on offense, Harding leads the country in rushing, averaging north of 450 yards on the ground and 46 points per game. Heading into this week's battle, the Gorillas know that they'll need to be more physical than ever before.
They're built to gain yards. To me, the key is you got to limit the amount of explosives that you allow them to have. And the only way you can do that is by playing physical up front. You got to be assignment sound, on the second and third levels. And then a big challenge for our guys this week is you got to make a lot of tackles out in space. I mean, they're going to get the ball out on the perimeter a little bit with some of the option stuff. And you're going to have a lot of guys in one-on-one situations. They're going to have to make some tackles for us if we want to have a chance.
We have to be physical this game. This is a physical offense. We're not just going to get by doing our job. We have to dominate our job, and that's kind of been the difference between the earlier games of the season and now. Like, we've been doing our job, and now it's time to dominate.
On the flip side, offensively for Pitt State, the focus is to take advantage of every opportunity. With the Bison's ability to run the ball and control the clock, the Gorillas expect to have fewer possessions and are emphasizing the importance of every drive.
You have to take advantage of the possessions you get, right? Because this isn't going to be a game where your offense is going to have 12, 13, 14 possessions. I mean, that's kind of how Harding wins football games. They run the football to high level. They chew the clock up. They're going to limit the amount of possessions that they're going to let the other team's offense have. So when you have those possessions, you got to take care of the football. You got to generate some drives, and you got to end your drives with some points as well. You know, you're going to have to score some points to beat this football team. So big stressor we have for our offense this week is, I mean, you got to take advantage of the possessions that you do get.
I've been preaching like you have to be perfect. Like, you know, it sucks that you have to be perfect, but when you're playing a defense like this, you have to be perfect. So I think I've just been preaching like to the running backs, like everything we do, like do it with everything you got, because we're limited. Like this game is limited for us. So just go out there and be great.
Pitt State and Harding clash on Saturday for a spot in the quarterfinals. Kickoff at 1 p.m. from First Security Stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a thrilling comeback of their own last week against the Colts in overtime. On Thanksgiving Thursday, the Chiefs are back in action in Dallas against the Cowboys, bringing back some memories to an old rivalry that many don't know about. The voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, breaks down the feud between Lamar Hunt and the Cowboys in this week's Minute with Mitch.
Have you ever taken books into a reseller? They take your books and appraise them. They tell you to walk around their secondhand store, and while you wait to see what they'll pay you for the books you brought in, tricky resellers, they know you'll walk around the store long enough and you'll find a book you just have to buy. This past summer it happened to me. I found this book, The 10-Gallon War, detailing the bitter feud between Lamar Hunt and the Dallas Texans of the AFL and the NFL's Dallas Cowboys. I've read other accounts of the struggle between the teams from 1960 to 1962, but not like this one. Lawsuits, promotions to knock each other out, fights over players. It finally came to a conclusion when Lamar brought the Texans to Kansas City to become the Chiefs. And the Cowboys stayed in Dallas. This Thanksgiving, the Chiefs go back to Dallas. I'll be thinking about the 10-Gallon War on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
The Chiefs and Cowboys face off in Jerry's World at AT&T Stadium as Kansas City High is the second straight win. Kickoff at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon from Dallas. How about this? A little Thanksgiving football for the Chiefs. A little bit more enjoyment for us here in the Four States area too.
For us, for sure. Not so much for those players. They haven't had much time to rest up since they played on Sunday. The Chiefs had an overtime game, so those players are beat up, and they're missing Trey Smith, their Pro Bowl right guard. I hope the Chiefs are going to be recovered enough to take on the Cowboys.
Yeah, not just him. Noah Gray is also out after he went into concussion protocol throwing that
Chris
big hit.
Roland Wallace, I think, is also out.
Yeah, so they've got some injuries, but the good thing is, a big thing, especially with the secondary, they talked about Christian Fulton being a guy that, hey, he might not have been active early on, but they know they're going to need him down the stretch. We're in stretch time now, so you could see more of him. Mike Caliendo has filled in when Kingsley Suamataia got hurt, but also with Trey Smith now. So Caliendo has that experience. The question is, can Robert Tonyan step up? And I know they talked highly about him. So
tight end, yeah.
He could have a big impact alongside Kelsey.
We'll see. And we'll see how Caliendo does. And he had kind of mixed reviews on this earlier fill-in, so we'll see.
We will see, but the big thing was Kingsley did a great job in the run. They were running behind him after Trey Smith got hurt, and he was mauling people. So that's always a good sign to see his development after he made the switch from tackle to guard this offseason.
Right. Left side will be strong.
Yep.
We'll be right back. This is your news update. I'm Dow Quick. Just ahead of the holiday, the Webb City Farmers Market opened their doors to provide some local flavor. As KOIM's Ty Park shows us, it's that taste of the area that really makes the market special.
Webb City's Farmer Market is offering a Thanksgiving market for people to come by and pick up the last-minute items.
You know, each year we have a bonus market just for people to get last-minute produce, fresh food for their family dinners.
Vendors grow and produce food here in the local area, and people like the locally sourced veggies and meats.
I much prefer the local to the big box store. In a local market, you get locally raised meats and produce that are from the local area, produced by local farmers with care, concern, and they look out for you.
One customer prefers their desserts from a local baker.
Only desserts are like apple pie, like
pecan pie, the classic or traditional dessert for Thanksgiving. And for me, is the blueberry cheesecake. That is delicious. For me, this is like homemade, and the more important, we help local people. This is more important for me. And the people make everything great.
This food was just picked a few hours ago, and so it's very nutritionally dense, and it's supporting your local people. The money goes directly to the farmers who produce the food.
In Webb City, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Webb City Farmers Market will start their Christmas market the first week in December. We'll be right back. Family Feuds, a horror classic reimagined, and a revealing new docu-series. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos has the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
Why do you have a gun in my head?
Powell stirs up family chaos, Johansson leads a horror reboot, and Combs takes center stage in the Hollywood Nation. Sean Diddy Combs is under the microscope in a new Netflix docuseries. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is a 4-part series examining the rise and fall of the imprisoned hip-hop mogul, with longtime rival Curtis 50 Cent Jackson serving as executive producer. The series features new interviews and never-before-seen material from people once in Combs' inner circle. It premieres December 2nd.
Star Search.
Netflix also teased its Star Search reboot, dropping a video revealing the series premieres January 13th. Anthony Anderson hosts the competition, airing live Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, with real-time voting as performers across multiple categories go head-to-head for a shot at stardom. Scarlett Johansson is taking on the devil. She'll star in Mike Flanagan's reimagining of The Exorcist, a fresh take on the 1973 horror classic. Production is expected to begin in New York, with pre-production already underway.
2 calls, 2 emails.
Been occupied.
With what?
Occupations.
Glenn Powell is out for blood and a fortune in today's First Looks. A24 released the trailer for How to Make a Killing, a dark comedic thriller starring Powell as a blue-collar outcast determined to reclaim the inheritance his wealthy family cut him out of, even if it makes taking out anyone who stands in his way.
Wait, who are you?
I'm back in.
The Family Showdown hits theaters February 20th. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of 3 fossa pups at the San Diego Zoo. Let's make it a great Thanksgiving.